Live on YouTube.
And you know what? This is easier system too, because this will save time with the download.
When we post it like we're going now, can we go in and edit it to where in the description? Because I know when I post them, and I know we live on YouTube right now, so some people are going to hear this is all good. But when I go to Facebook and then I post to YouTube, I'm able in the description to put what the show is about, all of our different bio links, and all these different things that I have saved as a Word document. I just copy
Yeah,
and
we are.
paste it. Okay. So we can do the same thing. We can edit it. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, so again, we are live on YouTube. We just posted it to Facebook, so we give everybody a minute to kind of chime in. Those who are our audience and those who are following us on and have been faithful following us on Facebook. We are making a conscious effort to gravitate our platform over to YouTube, just because we feel it's a more user-friendly system for all our viewers, and that way we can kind of critique our page and our platform how we would like it to have. So there's going to be some changes this year. There's going to be some different things that we're going to be doing this year. Our show format is going to be similar. However, we're going to be able to add a little bit more entertainment to the education.
Yes.
And so that's one of our goals, one of our things that we will be doing this year. And so that actually is a great segue into what our show is about. And before I get to that, this is the Global Empowerment Team. This is one of our bi-weekly shows. We are here Thursdays at 6 and Sundays at 2:30.
Yes, sir.
Each show is live, and each show is providing a wealth of value and a wealth of information. Today is just going to be not just today is me and my homie, me and my brother. We get to kick back and talk between us two. So we don't have any guests joining us today. However, we've been able to provide a lot of information and a lot of boldness just between our two conversations. So looking forward to today's topic. We definitely want to hear more about what you guys are wanting to hear and want to talk about. So if you do have some time today, hit the like button, the subscribe button, join us live now and give us some live comments, live feedback, and we get, respond right back to you. One of the things that Khalil always talks about is accessibility. We are accessible. We're in our neighborhoods. We're in our communities. We are active in our communities, and so these are the things that we want to be able to provide to our audience, is that to create that accessibility, that yes, reach out to us, have a conversation with us. We're here to help. We're here to, our main missions is to empower, impact, and educate our communities.
Yep.
So that's what we're here for. But before we get to that, before we get to the topic of today's show, I want to introduce my brother, my co-host, Mr. Macklin. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to, like you said, this new year and our growth and maturation, not only with our show, but also personally, professionally, with our families, things of that nature. So it's 2021, 2020 is behind us. It is what it is. But I'm looking forward to the content that we will continue to bring to our community. Like you said, look forward to some changes. We're coming up with some changes for our show as far as providing a little more entertainment with the education. The educational component will always be there, but we want to try and grab our audience and bring you guys in. So once again, as Benny said, hit that like button, hit that bell, ring that bell, that subscribe down there, ring that to make sure whenever we do one of these shows, you get a post. Hit a post notification. Make sure you know when we're doing our shows, when we're bringing more content, what platforms we're on, which are Instagram, we've got our Facebook, we've got our YouTube as well. Look forward to our website coming up, but just continue to follow us, continue to support us as we continue to support you guys, our community, our network. So today we just wanted to talk amongst brothers about some realistic goals. One of the things that Benny does as a business coach is he talks to people about goals. So for Benny, goal setting is something that he does daily, something he does weekly, something he does monthly, something he teaches people to do consistently. But for some of us, we may only set goals during a New Year resolution. Like that may be the only time we really get to setting some goals. So we wanted to talk about how to really set those goals, how to set benchmarks to attain those goals, to know where you are throughout the process, how to recalibrate those goals. I always talk about GPS, goals, priorities, and strategies. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about, is some of our personal goals, priorities, and strategies for 2021 and how they play into our long-term goal. And then kind of how you can map out your GPS for 2021 and moving forward as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you mentioned the GPS. That's and granted, all the information that we provide, all the value that we provide, we've obtained this from the people that we mastermind with, the people that we reach out to, the mentors that we have built up around ourselves, our family, our businesses. So these aren't just things that we just regurgitate. We're not just out there reading some materials and then and just bring it out to you. These are things that we've talked and learned from other people who have reached a certain level of success and have adopted these values, these tools, these systems in their day-to-day lives and their businesses to allow them to reach the level of success that they've reached. So so obviously what Khalil and I always talk about is iron sharpens iron. So as we become sharpened in learning how to better ourselves and better our businesses and better and show up as better dads, better husbands, better community workers, better entrepreneurs, we want to share that information, and we want to provide those systems and those tools to our audience and to our communities, so that way you can position yourself to be a better overall person. So GPS, that was actually an acronym I learned from one of my mentors, and goals, priorities, and strategies, and understanding what each one of those individual tools are, and how to adopt them into your life is essential. So we want to break that down. So today, like Khalil said, we're going to be talking about goals. And one of the things that we talk about all the time is SMART goals. So, obviously with the new year, 2021, around this time, everybody has resolutions. Everybody has things that they want to do for the new year, whether it's lose weight, whether it's start working out, whether it's start implementing new strategies in your business. It's always around the new year time. But these are things that doesn't have to happen just because it's the new year. These are just things to, like Khalil said, course corrections, things things that now that you are now wanting to say start a new business or start a new venture, or now you want to create a new diet. And Khalil and I were talking about that earlier today. He's on a new diet path right now. And so he didn't just do it now because of the New Year's resolution. It was through a series of conversations that he and I have had. He's had with some of his other partners and some of his other friends about their diets. So he set what we call a SMART goal around that. And so what that is S being specific, the M is being measurable, the A is achievable, R is relevant, and T is time-based. So breaking that down is a specific goal. So not just I want to have a new diet, or I'm going to be on a diet for 2 weeks. Okay, let's be specific about what that diet is. Okay, so Khalil's and Khalil doesn't mind me sharing this with him because we talked about this on our last show, is he doesn't want to eat meat for a certain amount of time, right? He wants to try that out. So saying that, okay, I'm not going to eat, in Khalil's example, I'm not going to eat meat for the first 3 months of the year, for this many meals. So out of three meals out of the day, I'm not going to eat meat for 2 of those meals, or for all 3 of those meals for the first 3 months of the year. So that's something specific. That's something dialed in. And with it being so specific, you can now measure it. Because now you could write down, he keeps track, write down a log of what those meals were every day. So breakfast, nope, didn't have bacon. Lunch, nope, I didn't have any meat.
Yep.
Dinner, nope, I didn't have steak. So that's something that you can measure. And over a time, you now have numbers showing how well or what course corrections you need to do within that specific goal and achievable. This is something that's definitely achievable. So, you don't want to say that, it never has tried this diet and say that I'm never going to eat meat again. Now, that may not, that's something that's really far fetched. That's something that, it's a brand new ideology. So being the that being achievable may not be as achievable as saying, okay, well, just for the first 3 months, right? So making it not so hard on yourself, but something that you could just, okay, well, the first 3 months, if I'm doing okay, or the first month I'm doing okay, then I could do another month.
Exactly.
If 2 months is good, then okay, I can reach this goal of 3 months. So making it achievable, not something far-fetched, and then relevant. Making sure that it's relevant to you as a person, to your life, to where you want to, what you want to accomplish in life, relevant to your family needs, relevant to your business needs. So obviously, with this particular situation, it's relevant to his health, relevant to how he wants to function, how he wants to show up in his kids' lives, in his family's lives.
Yeah.
So it's a relevant goal. And then time-based, we talked about how specific the time is. It's 3 months, right? So it's time-based. So that's what's called a SMART goal. You
Okay.
can track that goal all the way throughout the whole process to ultimately achieve that goal.
And throughout life, we should be setting all of our goals should be those types of goals, SMART goals. See, what I didn't realize is earlier in my career, I was setting SMART goals without knowing it, if that makes sense. Like I was setting specific goals of your enrollment target is 36 per month. Obviously, it's measurable. Obviously, it's achievable. Obviously, it's relevant to me and my job and maintaining a certain amount of commission that comes on top of it. And the time base was I needed to do that each and every month. But it puts you through that process of now, like you said, subconsciously almost you start setting these SMART goals. But I love that acronym, that concept of setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based goals. Because as you said, I've been contemplating this for a while with the conversation that you and I have been having. You and Ravon and I have been having, a couple of my other friends that are vegan. They go to these vegan barbecue spots in Oakland because, there's certain places like Oakland, San Francisco that are more progressive with these things. Out here where we're at, Solano County, which is a little slower to adapt to certain lifestyles or whatever, we may be harder to find some of those restaurants, although they're here. But it just had me thinking, you know what, like you said, for my health and wanting to be around for my family, the meat processing, just sometimes seeing how they make ground beef or a hot dog or whatever, and you see certain things, or you crack an egg and sometimes it's blood in the egg, it just starts, you like, whoa, wait a minute. Everything I eat, almost every meal, comes from another animal, another life source. And I didn't want to set myself up for a goal that wasn't achievable. And what I mean by that is going pescatarian, I thought was a little more achievable. Eating some fish and some shrimp and some crab and some lobster once, twice, 3 times a week, sprinkled in now with my rice and my beans and my potatoes and my vegetables and my fruits. That to me is more achievable than saying I'm not going to eat any of that and just go completely vegetarian. That's the next 3 months. Get myself acclimated to this and eating no meat 2 or 3 days throughout the week, which I'm 3 days in right now. Get myself acclimated to that to when I go vegetarian and cut that seafood out. Now that I can still, okay, I'm used to this and still wrap my head around the menu for that vegan base, which is the last 6 months of my goal. But it starts with things like that. You know what I mean? Just that was something, and keeping it time-based, it was like, I made the decision right before Christmas, but I knew I was going to make a big pot of gumbo. I knew it was certain things I was going to be eating. So it's just, you know what? January 1st is the time frame in which I'm starting this whole thing. I made my kids tacos birria the other day, which my kids love. And I got all this beautiful roast chuck beef in there and steak in there and all kind of, and I didn't eat none of it. I put shrimp in mine. You know what I mean? So I'm sticking to the script so far. We'll see how it goes. But so far, I set a SMART goal, and the purpose of the goal is to measure it, as you said, and see where I can go.
Very nice. And what's part of that too is what actually is not in the acronym is, the accountability part. So having, some type of accountability structure involved. So obviously, with this example of a diet, Khalil has shared this with his family. And so after, and they could help him stay accountable to that goal. Oh, well, Daddy, you said you weren't going to eat meat, but you got some bologna on your plate. You got some steak on your plate. Like,
Yeah,
Daddy, what are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
So creating that, sharing that goal with somebody that you trust, somebody that you value their opinion, you value their conversation, and whether it's your counterpart, your husband and wife, or your family, or your business partner, creating that accountability around that will help us, stay in line. We're all human, so we're going to make, we're going to backslide. We're going to have, uh, course corrections that need to take place. So, having that accountability partner, where you are having a conversation, not just in your notebook, but reaching out to somebody on a day-to-day basis or a
Hmm.
weekly basis, or
Hmm.
I wouldn't stretch it out no more than a week, at a time before you have a conversation with that accountability partner. So that helps us. Obviously, it gives us a little bit more motivation with sticking to our goals.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't tell anybody, then you're only telling you're only keeping it to yourself. Then you only have yourself to hold you accountable to.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's where a lot of people, me included, have not been able to reach our goals because we're only holding ourselves accountable,
Yep. Yep.
right? And we can't do that. You can't. It's just, and our conversations, back to what I was saying earlier about masterminding with other successful people, or people who have reached a certain level of success in their endeavors. um, that's one of the main things that they've always talked about, is having that accountability structure around them
Yeah.
and sharing that goal. So, and you could adopt this. Not this not doesn't necessarily have to just be around diet. You could adopt these SMART
Oh
goals
yeah.
in every aspect of your life,
Every aspect. Every
right?
aspect.
So including in your business. So, say, for me, in my business right now, with the real estate company Surpass Estate Group, we did our SMART goals in November for 2021, and our goals were around what we did in 2020. So knowing what, and measuring those numbers and what it took for us to reach those numbers, what our daily activities were around reaching those numbers, and the amount of people we were able to help buy and sell real estate, we took that and now adopted our systems and our strategies a bit, to where, okay, so now we have a goal of this particular number of
Hmm.
transactions,
Hmm.
and this is what we have, and being able to measure it. So now we have a specific number that we want to reach as a team goal. Now we are able to measure it, being able to track our calls, track our emails, track our text messages, track how many people we're reaching out to on a day-to-day basis, tracking our events, tracking everything that we are doing on as far as activities to reach that goal. And then also, it's an achievable goal because based on um, historical numbers, based on other teams that I've masterminded with this certain number of with the team at this particular number, with the admin structure that we now have, with the marketing structure that we now have built out, and the momentum that we've achieved from the last few years of real estate. This is something that's definitely achievable.
Hmm. Hmm.
So understanding that, and it's relevant to my team, it's relevant to the individual agents on my team, because our team goals are structured around their individual goals.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's relevant to them as well as the team, because if the team reaches their goals, that means that they've reached their goals, and that means that me as a CEO have done my job in providing them the tools and the systems and the structure for them to reach their goals.
Yep.
Right. So that's relevant, and it's time based, because now it's something that we are going to be doing from January 1 through December 31st.
Hmm.
So that's how, and so, and like I said, you could implement that into every aspect of your life.
And the thing about those goals that you set though, B, is you do monthly, quarterly, biannual check-ins. Like a lot of
Well,
people just
we do weekly check-ins.
yeah.
So
So,
weekly check-ins. Um, and then as far as we have a team meeting once a week, we actually have daily calls. So what that daily call is, we do script rehearsals in the morning, from 8:30 to 9. And in that time span, we're also reporting our numbers from the previous night. So we were reporting our numbers by 12 noon, how many contacts we've had by 12 noon, and then also by 6 p.m. what the number of contacts were for that day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the level of accountability that we've implemented into our team, because we have some high smart goals and we
Yeah.
really want to accomplish these.
And that keeps it, you know what that does though? It keeps it relevant. It keeps it in the
Mm-hmm.
forefront of what you're doing. It makes it relevant to your everyday book as well. And it keeps that time base going because, 12-6 daily, it's all these different things. And those SMART goals, as you mentioned, that was a great difference as far as how you can use SMART goals, because they can be for something as personal as a diet all the way to something as complex as running a team with the structure and how we're going to do things and let it permeate throughout the entire business. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like what one of my goals is, and a lot of my goals are goals that I'm trying to implement with my children as well and do better with my children. I set them up with bank accounts where I was periodically putting money in. You know what I mean? I was doing good with getting paid and putting some money in, but I made it a point where now I set it up to where automatic from my checks, money goes directly into their account. And then I transfer that money from their account into their brokerage accounts. And I have them sit down with me, and based upon what either EFT or stock that we're actually buying, I let them have some hands in on their portfolio that I'm trying to build for them. Mm-hmm. But I'm sticking with it. I was reading something that said if an 18-year-old put $50 a month away, compared to like a 45 or 55-year-old putting $100 a month away, the 18-year-old putting, maybe it was even $5 a month. It was just some super low number to where that money for them would grow so much more exponentially than $100 at a later stage in life. So what I'm trying to do is set that platform to where some of that road is paved already for them, because it's a whole lot easier to get excited about something when I hand them the keys over to the car and the car is worth $40,000 because of some things that I've already done to it, as opposed to saying at 18, you should put $100 a month away in your paycheck. I think it's a little more difficult to do that. So one of my goals is I have it to where, like you said, a SMART goal is this specific. $150 per month per kid. Mm-hmm. is measurable because the number is 150. Am I taking money out? Am I shortchanging them, or am I putting the full 150 in? Is it achievable? Well, based on the money that I'm making, 150 for each kid is achievable. Right. It's relevant to their future and to today's day and age, and the fact that you need to be prepared. And the time base is I'm doing it every single month. And I plan on doing it until the 16-year-old turns 18, and I teach her how to do it on her own, or I keep doing it for her, whatever it is. But the 10 and the 9-year-old, I still got 8 and 9 years to continue to build them a portfolio. I also made a goal of getting them more life insurance. I got them all life insurance when they were younger. So they got a certain amount of life insurance and it's growing. But why not get some more, especially while they're still young and it's super inexpensive? Just another vehicle to not only make sure that my grandchildren now are taken care of, because God willing, my kids will grow up to be parents themselves. And God willing, I get to see that, which means I've already achieved now with my SMART goals, that legacy being passed on to my grandkids, but it's another vehicle for them to have some cash value in their stuff and all of that. So those are a couple of goals I have, along with, as you know, and I tell everybody, what I love about our show is, like you said, we're vulnerable. With me being vulnerable to you, our audience, and my children, is all of you guys can hold me accountable now. Everybody who watches this and say, hey, Khalil, I think I saw you at Dave's Burgers the other day. Were you getting the kids burgers, or were you getting you a burger? Like, I want you to hold me accountable. But another one of my goals is within 6 to 8 months for you and I to get me a home. So I'm ready to upgrade where I stay at right now. I need something with multiple levels. I need something with a couple more bedrooms. I need something with maybe a pool or something like that. Ready to upgrade my game. So that measurable goal, the SMART, is specific. 2021, by August, Benny, you gonna get me in something, B. It may not even be what I want with the damn pool, but you get me in something, B. It's measurable, because if August come and go and I'm not in something, obviously I have not achieved the achievable. And it's relevant because I need to put myself in a bigger spot that's getting me more bang for my buck, where my office is not my man cave, where I'm turning from a man cave to an office to a PlayStation room to a workout room. where I'm doing it with the kids walking by. I need more space. And my time frame, my timetable, my time base is within this 8 to 6 months. So those are the goals that I set between my diet. And there's a lot of people out there. Diet don't mean I'm just doing this for 2 weeks. Diet is a lifestyle, like Benny said.
Very true.
Diet, when you go to the doctor, they ask you, so what's your diet consist of?
Yep.
They gotta ask you what have you been doing the last 2 weeks? No, what are you putting in your body? What does your diet consist of? So I wanted to be more conscious of what I put in my body.
Right.
In the last 5 months of the year, I was able to save $10,000 and put that into some places to let it grow. So if I can do that in 4 to 5 months consciously, my 2021 goal is, let's see if we can maybe double or triple that. Give myself $20,000, $30,000 that I can save and put in some places. I got a goal of setting the kids up with what I mentioned for them, getting them some extra life insurance, putting them some money up. I got my goal of being a homeowner, all of which, now that I go through my analytics, are SMART goals. And I share them with people to where now Benny can say, hey, bro, how are you on that 20,000 that you said you was going to save? He's going to ask me that in February. He's going to ask me in March. He's going to ask me in April. He's going to hold me accountable.
Right.
He's going to hold me accountable to make sure, have you talked to the loan officer? Where's our credit score? Let's start looking for these homes to be 2-3 months away from our time frame. And that's me once again being vulnerable. So those are the kind of goals we all need to be setting every year. Yep. It could be as small as I'm going to clean this garage and keep this garage clean. It's specific. I want my garage to be functional where I can park my car in it. It's measurable because is the garage clean or not? Can I park the car in? Is it achievable? It's relevant because I'm tired of getting my car rained on outside. And the time frame I'm giving myself is it got to be done before January 31st. You know what I mean? No, it can be as simple as that. But those are the types of ways we need to attack 2021 in our life moving forward. We need to have these type of, Benny says he got a team meeting. Maybe your team doesn't meet daily or weekly, but that 20 minutes that Benny has, that conference between him and God every morning, that meditation, you can do that and that still be your team call if your team doesn't have a call, where you just recalibrate every morning and say to yourself, all right, what are my goals? I want to make sure that I'm purposely productive, which means
write them down.
Exactly.
Write them down.
I'm getting in the habit of putting everything in this phone.
Right.
To where I told Benny from 7 to, I'm putting a calendar every year, all year, and it's non-negotiable. I don't care if you call me with something else, I got to call you back, because if you call me between the 9 and 10, non-negotiable time frame in which I have to delegate this time for something else to help me achieve those goals that we just mentioned, that's how it's got to be. I got to be that specific, because I know if I don't write it down, I'll get outside of my goals and they won't be attained.
Right. Right. You hit a number of different things right there. Right. Too. So I want to break all that down real quick. Well, at least 3 bullets out of that. So one is, okay, understanding the structure and the system of a SMART goal. Right. But you also in the conversation mentioned that you gave the why. So obviously you start with the why. You start with, why are you wanting to do these things? What's the big why? Because that's going to be, more than anything, that's going to be the motivation that's driving you to those goals. So understanding what that is in your life, why you want to achieve those goals, that's the driver. Like for instance, in what you mentioned earlier, is the diet is obviously because you want to show up different, you want to be healthier, you want to make sure that you have some longevity with your kids. So in our why with the business structure is because we want to obtain the why from my client, from my team members. They have a specific goal, and so this system and this structure, these SMART goals, are set up around them. My ultimate why is my family. I don't want to have to not be able to provide for my son and be in a situation where I have to tell him no because I'm not taking care of the finances appropriately. So knowing what that why is, whatever that why is now your driver to reach those goals. The SMART goal plan is just the structure, the system in place to reach those goals. So always start with that why, because like I said, that's the motivational driver. And then 2, the time blocking, setting that structure up to have that time blocked out. So throughout your day. So that's one of the things we've talked about a number of different times on our shows is time blocking. That's one of the things that I've learned over the last few years is that in order to be productive and purposeful throughout your day, you have to time block that time out. What you time block around, and it goes back to the Pareto principle. We talked about that before on another show. Understanding what the 20%, what the main thing that you have to do every day to accomplish the 80%. So if you're focused in, like for instance, around real estate or around business, for the most part, if you're focusing around your lead generating time, everything else kind of falls in place, because one, you're taking care of the core, you're taking care of the main thing that you need to do to ensure that you're in business, to ensure that you still have business coming, to ensure that you're filling that pipeline. So that's one of the main tools that successful people utilize to be able to be productive and purposeful throughout their day. Everything is time blocked. Their time from where they wake up in the morning to the time they lay their head down in the evening. And it's repetitive, because you have to, doing those small things every day builds up that momentum, and it builds up that muscle memory, and it makes those tasks a lot easier. And then also knowing that, like Khalil mentioned, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. So if put everything in your calendar, that's part of writing things down, writing your goals out to where you see them every day, because you get in the habit of looking at your calendar every day. Okay, well, what's on the agenda for today? That time blocked out time is around your goals. So you're going to spend time actually dedicated to reaching those goals based on your time blocking, based on your calendar. So that's essential. Those are tools. Those are just tools to help you accomplish the goal, and ultimately to take care of whatever that big why is in your life.
And see, that's where I sometimes, like I said, and I'm sure a lot of people get guilty of this, but I want to once again keep it real and at least be vulnerable. I don't always write the things down for the certain time frames, and then it gets past you, and next thing you know, the day has gone past and you didn't get accomplished or achieve what you should have got achieved. So that's something that I know I can definitely benefit from, is being more the time blocking goes back to what you said, and being purposefully productive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's what a lot of us need, those SMART goals. Those utilize utilize the tools that we have in front of us. Like my dad always comes by with these calendar, these big old map. I'm not taking it around. We got all that stuff right here. I can put everything I need to tell me.
Right.
And as you were talking, I'm thinking, all right, you know what, Benny's right. I got to have my stuff going off 7 to 8 every morning is an hour of whatever I make it. You know what I mean? From 6 to 7 is going to be my workout. 7 to 8 may be prep time for the day. And 8 to 9 is making those initial calls or emails to people. From 9 to 11 is making my good morning calls. 11 to 12, and prep it out and have different days looking differently to where it doesn't get monotonous, and put certain time towards Benny and I are going to sit down and meet to take our show and expand our show. And each Wednesday of each week is non-negotiable. But then I got certain days where I'm taking my Macklin 5 and what we're doing and doing something with that, non-negotiable. And I got certain days where the life insurance practice, non-negotiable. I got certain days where it's the Anthem Blue Cross and the health insurance with seniors, non-negotiable. And once I'm sure I do that, my business will flourish in different ways. Not that it's not flourishing, but it will flourish in different ways because of the consistency with the diversity of the activity that I have. You know what I mean? And like you said, having those goals and setting myself accountable and letting people like you or my mom or whoever it is, my dad, and let them people know who, hey, hold me accountable, check in on my weekly productivity and see if I'm doing what I need to be doing. You know what I mean? It's okay to let people in with that vulnerability, as we always talk about, to get to the next level. So those are some of my goals that I just wanted to share, just to let people know how real it is, how attainable I think it is. I wouldn't set these goals if it wasn't attainable. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm a meat man. When I make bacon, look, it's me, my 3 kids. I got George, so it's me and the 4 kids. And I make maybe 12 pieces of bacon. and they split in 5 because I'm eating 7. You feel me? Like I'm eating a bunch of bacon, bro. So for me to give up bacon, for me to give up eating 6 steak tacos when it's Taco Tuesday, and now I gotta eat. What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do for Taco Tuesday, B?
Well, look at it this. Look at it this though. You're not giving anything up, right? It's what you gain.
It's
right.
See, exactly.
And that's that open mind. That's that open mindset, right?
Mindset.
Exactly.
Mindset.
You're gaining health. You're gaining energy. You're gaining a healthier diet. So think about those things, man. That's what'll help you out with your new diet plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's not what I'm missing out on. It's what I'm gaining.
Right. He was talking about the time blocking. It brought me to the thought. One of my mentors and real close friends, Tim McCall. I had the opportunity of masterminding a lot with this gentleman over the last, maybe about 2 years, a little over 2 years. And one of the earlier conversations that I had with him was around this time blocking, and then not necessarily just the time blocking, but setting your goals far out. So what we actually put together was a 99-year calendar. So
nice.
And when he first brought it to my attention, it blew my mind away. Like 99 years. So that and in that, and in learning that mindset, learning what that looks like, that just fed more into me being conscious of creating generational wealth, which is one of our mission statements, right? Creating generational wealth, leaving a legacy worth leaving. So thinking about our kids, thinking about our grandkids, and having that, what do you want to do? So it doesn't have to be what you're doing every day for 99 years. That's not what it is. It's like, okay, we've all had that question asked, or a lot of people have had that question asked. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Like how long do you plan on, being in this position? And what does the next position look like for you in your job or your growth or your family or whatever that looks like, right? So it's mapping that out, when your kids are going to be graduating from elementary, high school, college. When do you see yourself retiring? What do you see yourself doing after retirement? What's your anniversary dates? What would you like to do? What family trips or what vacations would you like to be on? What does your next career look like? So mapping that out for 99, and obviously it's not something that's set in stone, but it just helps you start thinking long term, because those years fly by fast. And if you're not foretelling what that looks like in your life, that you look up and that time's gone. So I mean, in that, you're in retirement planning. So obviously that's something that you can adopt in your conversation piece when you're talking to people about what does that retirement look like.
Exactly.
What is that bank? What do you want your bank account to look like? What does your life look like after this particular job? So that actually, man, it was a very powerful tool in understanding, the very short amount of time that we have here, and the impact that we want to have on the people that are around us.
Exactly. And I wish more people had that foresight of understanding. As long as you may think life is, especially when you're young. You 18, my kids call me old all the time. I'm like, old, I'm 40. Like, that's not old. I don't think I'm old at all. But y'all, none of you guys can beat me at anything. So call me old all you want. Once you start beating me at something, maybe I'll concede to being old. But if you can't beat me at anything, from basketball to football to Mario Kart to Uno to dominoes to Monopoly to cooking to working out, you can't beat me at anything, then I'm not getting old just yet, is how I look at it. But most people don't have that foresight, bro, which is honestly why I got into doing what I do, is because, believe it or not, we're going to look up and we're going to be 60 years old. Like 60 going to come around the corner, God willing, that is. Time got a way of not stopping, and it just goes. And as stagnant as you may be, time is not stagnant. As stagnant as you may be, time will continue to go on around you, in front of you, if you don't participate. And I want to make sure that I take advantage of the time that we have in front of us. You know what I'm saying? The time we're blessed with. Exactly. And that's the reason why I throw my hat in so many different places, bro. That's the reason why I'm sleeping 4 or 5, because I got other stuff I need to do and achieve. I got stuff that I want to a legacy for my kids I want to leave, and the legacy isn't all, it's not financial. When I tell people that, yeah, I'm
Right,
leaving the
right.
financial legacy for me is secured already. They
Mhm.
set financially. That's neither here nor there. I wish more people were set that way. Now the legacy is the cooking the breakfast every morning and
Right.
gaining the right temperament. You know what I mean? Having 3 kids walking around. The other day, look, Kendall want McDonald's, and I don't even eat McDonald's. My kids
Mm.
don't eat McDonald's. Kendall want McDonald's fries out of nowhere because somebody took her to get some McDonald's fries and she tasted crack. And now
Mhm.
she
Right.
wants some McDonald's
Hooked.
fries.
Hooked.
Oh my God, who did this? So
Right.
she cried over fries, but she settled for something else, right? But Caleb and Kalia, they want something else. So, and then Jordan wants something else. And I don't want none of what they want because I don't eat meat anymore. So now I'm over here trying to satisfy 3, 4, 5 different kids. But my point of saying that is I'll go ahead and I bring it all surface back to a surface level of saying that I'm still trying to teach them in life. I use those as teaching moments
Mhm.
because in life you can't get what you want all the time. You know what I mean? So I go back to using those moments as moments to let them know on how we gonna work this out because it's times where I don't get what I want throughout life. And in life, 9 times out of 10, you honestly not gonna get what you want out of life. That's just how it goes. You put
Right.
something into it. I tell Khalil and Jordan, you got jobs. You can honestly dictate what you eat. You put in what you get out. A 9 and a 10-year-old, you're in a different situation. You may not be able to dictate what you eat necessarily. You may have to roll with the punches. But all of these are just maturation learning lessons that we all should be going through, understanding our time, like you said, is short here, man. Our time is short here. We got to wake up and attack this thing every day
Mhm.
with all that we can because tomorrow is not promised. And I'll make you one promise. Even if you're 95 years old, you're going to feel like it still went by too fast. 95 years is going to go by too fast. So what we all want to do with the purpose of this show for me was just to talk about really making some real goals, setting some real priorities. What's a priority for you? Because when you set your priorities, the priorities help you strategize. And the more you strategize, it wraps back around to what your goals are. And it could be as simple as, all right, I want to be a homeowner. All right, I want to save $5,000. I want to buy a new car. I want to build my credit score. I want to go on a diet and lose 10 pounds. Whatever the goals are, all right, that's a goal. Now, what's a priority? The priority
The big
is
why.
what's that big why? What's your
Right.
priority as far as the priority if I'm trying to be a homeowner now? My big why is different than my priorities if I want to lose 10 pounds. It's different than my priorities if I want to build my credit score. You know what I mean? And now I'm strategizing. How do I strategize to lose 10 pounds? It's different than just the diet and working out. I got to couple the two together. Now, if I'm going to be a homeowner, what's the strategy to becoming a homeowner? It's more than just going and looking for a home and buying it. There's moving components that go into that. So now you strategize. And as you're strategizing, it wrap you back around to your goals to say, okay, maybe I either need to push this goal out, change the goal, tweak the goal, because with the strategy I got put in place, it's going to take 8 months. And do I need to recalibrate that? Whatever the case is. But the whole purpose, let's put our GPSs on for 2021 moving forward. Let's have daily meetings with our teams, with ourselves. If you're not doing them daily, at least do them weekly. Let's really set some goals that are specific, that are measurable, that are achievable and attainable, that are relevant to us, that are time-based. We really need to do those things. Let's set goals personally. Let's set goals professionally. Let's set goals as far as our family is concerned. Let's set goals as
Right.
far as our relationship with God is concerned. Let's set goals as far as our relationships with ourselves are concerned, health-wise, all those things. Write it down.
Yeah, that goes back to that will, what you just mentioned. You can't see it here or good, but like you said, God, family, health, wealth, and business. Those are the things that if you're focusing in on them, if you're building your goals around them, if you're building your big why, that hub is your big why,
Yep.
right? So that hub is your big why. Everything else is an attribute of that big why. So focusing in on that, having your SMART goals all around that, helps you be a more well-rounded person. And hey, we're all human. It sometimes that wheel is flat,
Yep.
because we're not focusing on one particular spoke. So, that again, if we're on our focusing on our GPS, focusing on our SMART goals around those spokes, makes us a stronger individual, and we show up stronger for all those that are in our circle, and we show up stronger for the ones that that are our loved ones.
Exactly. This is my new thing I got, B. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Help me pull it up.
I'm gonna get a sign. I gotta get a sign. I gotta get a sign built with this one. I'm gonna put this on my wall. If somebody knows a great sign maker or a great artist, I would actually prefer an artist to put this together for me. Somebody knows a really great artist that could put this together. Shoot it. Leave us a comment. Shoot us a instant message, DM message, and let us know who we reach out to.
That's my new thing, B.
Where did it go? 247 365. Like that. 24/7 365. Execute your excellence. Very nice.
And you already know I always talk about execute your excellence, but we should be executing our excellence 24/7 365, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And I believe that with some of the things that you just laid out, honestly, that sets the foundation for a 24/7 365 executing your excellence. If I really do have my day mapped out, if I really take the next 2 weeks and map out my day and how my day should look moving forward each and every day for the rest of the year, and actually map it out to be purposefully productive and actually come up with smart goals and continue to come up with smart goals, both personally and professionally. Watch the maturation happen. Be vulnerable with somebody. Tell them what you're good at, what your shortcomings are, and have them tap in with you to make sure you are achieving your goals, because that's the A in the SMART. But you do those things, and you can't help, in my estimation, be successful, or at least see where you are in the successful stratosphere. Measure. That's the M of the measure where you are.
Yep. Shoot for the moon.
Exactly.
At least you'll be among the stars.
Let's measure it. Let's go. Let's measure it and see. Yep. So, if anything, set some goals for yourselves. That's what we're doing. Both Benny and myself, like we said, the show is going to look a little bit different because we set some goals for our show. We're nowhere approaching the hour, so we're going to wrap this thing up. But we know that we set some goals for the Global Empowerment Team. Benny has goals for his Surpass team. I've got goals for the Macklin 5. We've both got goals for the Global Empowerment Team. Benny got goals for Benny Bell. I've got goals for Khalil Macklin. We got goals for our families individually. And that's the way you get it to it. And we're going to keep doing this show to make sure we keep bringing you this information. If you know of anybody out there that you think would be a guest, please drop us an email, drop a line in the chat box. Go to our Facebook, whatever page, YouTube page, it doesn't matter, Instagram, and let us know. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, let us know. But we will continue to bring you this information and just share who we are, what we do, how we're here for our community. Once again, Benny does everything. Benny will help you with getting your mindset right, coaching you in your business and bringing it to the next level. Benny does investments as far as real estate and investing and things of that nature. Benny does he's a real estate agent. He's got a Surpass team. Benny's been involved in media as an actor and things of that nature. So his tentacles go far, man. This dude's probably writing a book right now. He's a great father. It's just all kind. He's fit, man. He's eating right and all kind of things. So he's my go-to guy. As far as me, I'm just trying to motivate and inspire. That's my whole goal. I'll help you out with retirement planning because I've done this for so long. You need help talking about life insurance, where to put your money out, how to organize your 401k. I got you. You got a grandparent or a mom or a dad who need help with healthcare and understanding Medicare. I got you. Those are all the places I can help you. Other than that, I want to inspire and motivate you to do what you need to do in your 20s, 30s, and 40s to make sure if you got a mom or a dad or a grandmom or a granddad in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you see them struggling, let's make sure you're not in that same position. And it starts by having a phone call. And that's why we're here for you guys, to provide that open platform, to have this discourse, to make us all better. Because as Benny always said, iron sharpens iron. So this is our first show of 2021. Many more to come. What is 52 weeks, 2 shows? That's 104 shows that we have coming at you for 2021. Give or take, all right?
That's accountability right there. We put it out there.
It's specific, it's measurable,
right.
It's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time-based. 104 shows. This is the first of 104 shows coming at you guys for 2021. We appreciate your support. Benny, I love you, brother. Every time we do one of these, I leave away with my spirit being rejuvenated and full of ambition, hope, and love and all of that. So,
You
brother,
and me both, brother.
continue prosperity to you, man. I love you. I'll be talking to you soon. And for all the Global Empowerment Team supporters, we appreciate you. And we'll be seeing you soon as well.
Everybody take care.